There is a quality to all human beings. We, as a human species, have some quality that is unique to us, that is unique to our types. People will divide these qualities as in zodiac signs, as in MBTI types, as in qualities, and as in personality types, as in introvertedness, extrovertedness. The most important of them all is MBTI, Myers-Briggs testing. Myers-Briggs testing, MBTI, refers to some certain qualities of a person can have to their personality. These are introvertedness, extrovertedness, thinking and intuitiveness, sensing and feeling, and prospecting and judging. These all qualities have 16 personality types in total, and depending on these qualities, depending on these traits, you will have a major difference in your life. There will be some significant changes due to your personality. Some personalities will be very much different than others, and they won't get along well, they will get along pretty well, or perhaps due to their personalities. Depending on your personality, it is very important to you decide for your career and for your relationship and for your well-being. And depending on your personality, you will be living the life in a very major change. Your life will have an actual change depending on your personality type. You will choose differently depending on your personality type. Let's assume a person is introverted and they will probably be spending their night with a close friend, one or two. And if a person has extroverted tendencies, they will probably go out their way to a concert, to a party, to a crowded space to spend their free time, because you will be seeing these people will have different types of restoring their energy. If a person is introverted, they will have to spend some time alone in order to they restore their energy. And if a person is extroverted, then depending on your extroverted tendencies, depending on the very quality of their extrovertedness, they will be spending their time with others in order to restore their energy. In other words, they will need it. The introverted person will need the solitude. They will need to spend their time in a solid manner. And the extroverted person will need company. And let's continue of the second trait of the MBTI tests. And these are either you are intuitive, and the other way around is you are sensing. If you're intuitive, you will think beyond your time, and you will be thinking questions like, how can I make the world a better place, a more productive place, a place which is more progressed? And if you're sensing type, you will most likely have the world, you will most likely wish the world in the exact way it is now, and you will try to have your scale, have your control on the present environment. You will not try to progress, you will make it stay, but you will make it work in a regular way. So if you are a sensing type. And we have many intuitive people in our past, and they are famous, and we have our sensing type which are very famous. And you can see the person, if they constantly talk about future and what they can provide for the future, and how the life could be better, how the life could be progressed in a very different way. This person is most likely intuitive. Abraham Lincoln is one of the examples of the intuitive people. And if you see the people who are trying to have a control over their environment and in the present environment, and who try to regulate this environment and make sure that it's working perfectly, it is most likely that person is a sensing type. So third quality, this person is either thinking or either feeling. So thinking people will most likely have a change in philosophy. Perhaps there will have a change in the economy, and sensing feeling people will have, most likely they will go and they will go out their way and try to become an artist, and they will have people's emotion in a very intact way, and have they will understand those emotions much better of a thinking than a thinking type. And you can see some academicians in the universities, there are some thinking types, and you can see some artists like Lana Del Rey. She's a very feeling type, and I think these two traits are pretty cool, and we as human species do need both of them. And the last one is either a person is prospecting, like they will choose their way on the road while the world happens to them, while the world takes them to some places. They will have their opportunities, and they will be very successful to expand their opportunities. And if a person is a judging type, they will use the current resources, and the current resources, they will try to regulate those current resources. If the person is judges, they will try to decide how the environment goes for them. And if the person is prospecting, they will feel like the life has full of opportunities, and I can pretty much do anything in my life. So the prospecting people will not have deadlines. The judging types will definitely have deadlines, and they might have some calendars, they might have some notebooks to be more to make their lives in an orderly fashion. So these are very different perspectives, and I think these both of them are very unique, and they are very useful to human species. So as a human species, we are at the top of the pyramid, of the dominance pyramid. And because we are at the dominance pyramid, we do owe this to some certain traits of us humans. And I think one of them is diversity. Because we people are so different from the others, like MBTI has 16 personalities. Because we have so different personalities, because we have so different traits, as human species, we were successful. Like, you can see people like Elon Musk, and he changed the world because he had a vision. He's a definite into the person and thinking person. He had a vision, and he had an actual agenda to obey to this vision. He was able to create a very successful business because he was an INTJ. And these people are like architects, and they build the very world around us. Like, we have also ENTJ. You can see most of the prominent leaders, as in political way, like we have the most of the prominent leaders. They don't have to be good people, but I'm speaking about prominency. They can be very notorious or famous. This doesn't matter in a figure of speech, but you will see they have some personality traits to them, whether they use it in a useful way to benefit all the human beings, or they can use this in a very destructive way. And we have seen some people as human species, like Adolf Hitler. He was one of them. And depending on your personality, you can contribute to the world. And the starting point of this is you have to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, and you can't possibly contribute to the world, I encourage you to have one of these MBTI tests, because understanding your type will make you a happier person. Understanding your type will have a huge impact to yourself and the environment around you, because if us humans don't feel like we are understood and we are loved, we can turn out be a very bad people. So I think the first step is to understand ourselves, and understanding our type will help us, and this will affect our choices, and our choices will lead us in a very different life, in a very different life which we from now which already we do have right now. And understanding yourself can possibly erase all the pain you have, because you might be mistreated by people because they didn't understand you, and you perhaps felt like a bad person, but these might be just your personality traits. You will learn. You don't have to guilt about it. You don't have to be guilty, and you don't have to be felt guilty for the very person which you are right now. And we humans has very unique perspective and very unique qualities to ourselves, and the first step to use our uniqueness is to understand ourselves. We might be a rare personality type, and that's okay. That's okay, because there are 8 billion people in the world, and I think one of the rarest personality is INTP. It's the 2% of the population, and if you divide 8 billion to 2%, it is, I think, 160 million people, and 160 million people are like you if you are that personality types. So it's great to be understood, and it's great to know that you are not alone. And always keep pushing to have an actual greatness for yourself, because these are all possible. You can be great in either science, either in politics, either in business, either in universities. You can be a great student, or you can be a great teacher, a professor. This doesn't matter. You can be a great artist. You can play violin in a very good way, and you can write books. You can change the world. You can command the world, and in a very good way. So try to understand yourself. Don't inflict pain on yourself, and don't feel guilt because some other people made you feel as if you're a bad person. It isn't true. It isn't true, and you can change your life. You can walk away from these people. You can change your life. You can change a decade, 2 decades, or 3 decades, or 4 decades, and this doesn't have an actual ending. You can change and alter your life. You can change it in a very prominent way. Be kind to yourself. I'll get to see you in the next video. Goodbye.